Hi everyone! Have you ever wondered how a blender works? Well, today we are going to find out. Before we talk about the science behind a blender, I want to talk a little bit about the history. Before blenders were invented, preparing foods and drinks at home were much more difficult and time consuming. People had to mash, grind, or mix ingredients by hand using tools like whisks, mortars and pestles, or manual grinders. In the early 1900s, between 1919 and 1922, Stephen Poplawski created one of the first electric blenders. His design placed spinning blades at the bottom of a container and was originally intended to mix drinks. His structure is still used in blenders today. In 1933, Hamilton Beach bought the rights to Poplawski's blender and also introduced their own blender model, helping make the appliance much more widely accessible to consumers. In 1937, Fred Waring introduced the Waring blender. This became extremely popular and was even used in hospitals and laboratories, expanding the blender's role beyond just making drinks. In the 1940s, John Oster introduced the Ostracizer, one of the most recognizable household blenders, helping secure the blender's place in an American kitchen. In the 1950s, the hand mixer was introduced, giving home cooks another electric tool for mixing and baking. While it wasn't a blender, it marked an important step in the growth of small kitchen appliances. From the 1950s onwards, blenders continued to evolve, becoming more powerful and versatile, leading to the high-speed models we use today. Most of us use a blender without really thinking about what's happening inside it. We usually assume the fast-spinning blades simply chop everything up, but that's only part of the story. In the beginning, the blades do directly cut the food into smaller pieces. This first stage is important because the pieces need to become small enough to start moving freely in the liquid. If the food can flow, it can blend. Once the ingredients begin to flow, something more powerful takes over. Strong blenders create what are called hydrodynamic forces, which basically means energy created by fast moving liquid. These forces help break food down even further. As the blades spin at high speeds, they create intense shearing forces. This means layers of liquid move at different speeds, pulling particles apart. Another surprising force comes from tiny air bubbles forming and collapsing in the liquid. Even though these bubbles are small, when they implode, they release bursts of energy that help break food into even finer particles. Normally, we can't see this happening, but high speed cameras reveal how intense this process really is. At first, the blades are strong enough to break down tough ingredients, like whole spices. In powerful commercial blenders, even hard items can be shattered into smaller pieces. However, there's a limit. As the pieces get smaller, the blades hit them less often. Smaller particles are harder targets. Also, the smaller something becomes, the more energy it takes to break it down even further. At some point, the blades alone can't provide enough impact. That's when the movement of the liquid itself becomes the main force doing the work. The flow, the pressure changes, and the collapsing bubbles continue breaking the food down until it becomes smooth. So, blending isn't just about spinning blades, it's about physics. It's a combination of cutting, liquid movement, and energy transfer that transforms solid ingredients into smooth soups and smoothies. What will you make using a blender? Will you make a milkshake, a smoothie, soup, dips? The possibilities are endless. Thanks for joining. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Thank you.